Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Worshipful Wednesday. It's that day right in the middle of the week that you and I should be at the peak of our praise. Let's give God all the glory, the honor, and the praise that he is due, because he indeed is worthy. Today, I want to invite you to look with me at Psalm 100, a very powerful psalm. This psalm says, "Shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth." Notice it says, shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth. It doesn't say some of the earth, but it says all the earth. Everything that is in it ought to give praise and worship to God. You know, my brothers and sisters, have you ever looked at the trees? They reach up. Have you looked at the ground and the grass that's growing on it? It reaches up. Have you looked at the flowers that bloom? They bloom up. Have you ever thought about everything? It reaches up to God to give him praise. He tells us, first of all, shout with joy to the Lord. You know, whenever we come before the Lord's presence, we should come with joy and thanksgiving in our hearts. We should shout with joy. Secondly, it says, worship the Lord with gladness and come before his presence with singing. Have you ever realized how intentional worship has to be? We worship the Lord with gladness. That's the reason why the psalmist David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. It's with joy and gladness that we should come into the presence of the Lord at home, even in the place of worship and any other place. We should come before him with singing and joy. Have you noticed that many of us, we start out our time of worship and praise to God personally, as well as in the gathered assembly with singing of joyful songs. We make melodies in our heart unto the Lord. We are to acknowledge that the Lord is good. He made us and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Again, we begin to hear about how God is the shepherd and we are the sheep. And when we come into his pasture, we should come into his presence with singing and thanksgiving. Not only that, but it says, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. You know, as the keeper of the gate will let the sheep come in, the sheep will come in with joy and gladness because they knew they were in the presence of their shepherd. My brothers and sisters, I hope that you can enter into the presence of God every day with joy and gladness. When you wake up, have a song on your lips. When you wake up, have a praise in your spirit to tell God thank you, to give him thanks and praise. Why? Because the Lord is good and his unfailing love continues forever and his faithfulness continues to each generation. You know, have you ever noticed that those of us who've had parents and grandparents who worship God, they passed it on to us because they told us about the goodness of the Lord. And when you and I know about the goodness of the Lord for ourselves, we got to pass it on to somebody else. I hope you will pass on the goodness that the Lord has shared with you, that you can tell your children, your children's children, and your great grands to let them know how good God has been and that we ought to shout for joy and give him glory, honor, and praise because he is our shepherd and we are his sheep. He knows our voice and we know his. And so let's follow him wherever he leads us. Let's go with him all the way. May the Lord continue to bless you and keep you until we meet again. Always know in this year of 2023, God has a great blessing in store for you, bigger and greater than you ever thought it would be. God bless you, and we'll talk to you again on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.